Hey everyone, I'm Dylan with ON1, and I'm really excited to share with you all of the new features and improvements to the latest update of Photo RAW 2020.1. So before we jump into the new features and improvements to Photo RAW, let's first take a look at the all-new Getting Started dialog. So if you're new to Photo RAW, or if you're new to photo editing in general, I'd recommend going to this plus icon and clicking on it first. Once you click on this, this is going to open up your Getting Started dialog. Now in here, there's a few different options. We have edit a single photo. So if you want to jump right into editing an image, you can just click edit a photo. Or if you're new to photo editing and want to learn a little bit more about it and use a sample photo, you can click on open sample photo. If you want to browse to a folder for some organizing, you can click on browse folder. And if you want to create a catalog photo to keep track of those images in your folders, you can click on create a catalog. If you're already well versed into Photo RAW and you don't need the Getting Started dialog, no worries at all. This is just a helpful tool for people just getting into the program and photo editing. So inside 2020.1, we're first going to take a look at the interface. And you may have noticed right off the bat there's a few minor interface changes. Now if we take a look over here, we now have a separate tab for our catalog folders as well as our browse pane. So if you want to switch between your local drives and your catalog folders, you can do that with these two tabs here. We have our catalog folders here to the left, and then we have our browse, which will have our local drives to the right. So let's say we're inside of our browse tab here, and we're navigating through a group of photographs, and let's say we want to add these photos to a folder inside of our catalog folders. Well, to do that, rather than actually heading over and clicking on My Catalogs and dragging it in or creating a new folder, all we have to do now is head up to this new tab right here, this icon right there. We can click on it, and this is going to copy to my catalogs. So now I can copy these photos to my catalog folders really quickly, simply in this dialog here. So I can go through my catalog folders, and I can go into any subfolders I want. Let's just go in here, and I'll actually just create a new subfolder inside of my ON1 Photo Library DK. So I'll just click this, I'll create a new subfolder, and we'll name it Fun Portraits. So now once I click copy, that's going to copy these photographs. It's going to create a new subfolder inside of this catalog folder. And now I have my Fun Portraits folder here with all of those different photos that I've taken from that previous folder. Also new to Photo RAW 2020.1 is this brand new search bar up top here. And it lives right next to that Copy to My Catalogs button. Now with the search bar, it's basically searching for all of the criteria that you're searching for. There's no filters with it. And to explain that a little better, let's go over to the left side of our screen here. Now below our catalog folders, and if we're in the Browse tab below our local drives here, we have this advanced search area. And in previous versions, it was actually titled Filter. So we've since then changed it to Advanced Search, and if I click this to enable it, I can go down into my advanced options here, and if I roll it open, see how it says match all criteria and it says everything? Well, basically that's what this search bar up top here is doing. So if I'm searching for photographs and I want to search for all of the photos in a folder that contain a Canon image, well, I can go up to my search bar here and I'll just type in Canon. And now this is showing me all of the photos that were either taken with a Canon camera, have the word Canon in the metadata or a keyword, or actually are named Canon. So if I click on this, I can see that this was taken with a Canon 6D, this was taken with a Canon Rebel T5i, and this was taken with a Canon 5D Mark III. Now I can actually use this for other search terms as well. I could search for ocean or mountain or things like that, and it will show all of those different photos that actually have either that name in the file name, in the metadata, the keywords, or it's within the info of the actual camera and the file info itself. We've also drastically improved the highlight recovery inside Photo RAW 2020.1. Now if we have a blown out area of highlights, like this photograph for example, we can use our highlight slider to quickly alleviate all of those strong blown out areas on our image. Now sometimes when you're pulling back on your highlights, you could remove some of the color from them. Well, if you want to incorporate that color back in, make sure you head down to this all new Recover Highlight Hue option. Watch as I click on this, and it will bring the hue back into the areas where it took it away earlier. So if I turn this off, And that's an easy way to recover your highlights on your photograph just by using one slider. You also may have noticed the Cancel and Done button down at the bottom of the Edit module now. So the Cancel button is basically to discard any changes that you have made to the photograph. It's basically telling Photo RAW, nah, I don't want any of those edits that I've made, just take me back into the Browse module. And the Done button is basically telling Photo RAW, take me back into the Browse module, but save those edits that I've made to this photograph. All non-destructive, of course, but it's basically telling Photo RAW, here, save these edits. And the Done button is the same thing as your Browse icon here. So by clicking on either of these icons, either your Browse or your Done, it's going to save the edit and then take you back into the Edit module. So once I'm done with this photograph, if I want to save these edits here, I can just click on Done. And now it's saving those edits on that photograph. If I were to click Cancel, it would take away all of that highlight recovery and we wouldn't see this little edited badge down at the bottom. Also in the latest update, we've improved our focus stacking and included 2 more sliders that you can use. So if we grab our focus stacking photos here, we'll head into focus stacking. Now inside the focus stacking dialog of 2020.1, we have 2 new sliders here. We have our threshold slider and our sensitivity slider. Now the threshold slider is basically going to remove noise from smooth areas in our focus stacking. So if I pull this up all the way here, it's basically going to blur out some of these smoother areas trying to remove noise from my image. So you can use this to kind of remove some noisy or grainy areas from your shot and smooth it out a bit. And then we have sensitivity here. And the sensitivity is basically determining how sharp the sharpest image is in your photograph. So if you turn up the sensitivity all the way, you can tell it gets a lot sharper here than it was when it's down all the way at 0. Basically here, this is kind of like your detail slider. When you pull this up all the way, it's kind of removing noise and grain from these sharp areas in your photo stack. And then if I pull this down, it's kind of just leaving it how it is at its default. So you can use this sensitivity to sharpen up your overall stacking and also remove some of the noise within your photograph. So those are some of the improvements and enhancements to Photo RAW 2020.1. Besides having all of those improvements, we've also added in a plethora of new interface enhancements as well as a ton of new lenses and new cameras for you. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and learned about the new features into the latest update of Photo RAW. Stay tuned for more updates and new content, and if you like the video, please subscribe to our channel so that you can stay updated whenever we drop new videos or promos or anything like that. Thanks so much everybody, and have a great rest of your week.